year 2493. Earth was no longer alone in the universe. After decades of sending signals and building faster-than-light ships, humans had made contact with alien life. The Galactic Council, a powerful alliance of over 50 spacefaring species, allowed Earth to join as a minor member. It was a great achievement on paper. But in reality, the Council didn't take Earth seriously. When Jax Voss, Earth's ambassador, entered the Council Hall on Zorath Prime, the seat of galactic power, whispers followed him. Jax walked tall, dressed in Earth's formal dark blue suit, but he could feel the mocking stares from alien delegates with silver skin, glowing eyes, or tentacled faces. They laughed quietly behind their translator devices. Primitive species, one delegate from the Gorlok Empire muttered. Still using oxygen, another snorted. Did they arrive in metal ships? How quaint. Jax ignored them. He wasn't here to be liked. He was here to protect his planet. At the round table, Jax stood when it was Earth's turn to speak. His voice was steady. Honorable Council members, he said. Earth has detected unusual military activity from the Zarnath Dominion, near our colony at Redfield 9. We believe a potential attack is coming. We ask for monitoring and early response support. There was silence. Then, a low, rumbling laugh echoed through the chamber. It came from a tall, armored figure seated across the room, Supreme Commander Virex Thal, leader of the Zarnath Dominion. His red eyes glowed, and his voice was sharp like broken glass. Humans, Virex said, still thinking you matter. If a breeze shakes your home, you cry for help from your elders. Laughter spread around the chamber. Even some neutral species smiled. Jax's jaw tightened. This isn't a request for pity. It's a warning. If the Dominion attacks, Earth will respond. Virex stood up. Respond with what? Rusty ships and borrowed tech. You are children playing with fire. Maybe, Jax replied, calm and cold. But even fire fears a spark. The room fell silent. Virex stared at him, but said nothing more. After the meeting, Jax returned to his quarters in the human embassy. He looked out the window at the stars. They didn't know Earth. Not yet. Back on Earth, warning signs were increasing. Long-range sensors picked up strange energy bursts. Ships disappeared in the Redfield sector. But the Council still dismissed the reports. Humans were used to being underestimated. It had happened on their own planet for centuries. But Jax knew one thing for certain. This time, it could cost everything. The warning came at 3:17 Galactic Time. A deep space station orbiting Redfield 9, one of Earth's outer colonies, sent out a distress signal. Static and panic filled the transmission. Then it cut off. Back on Earth, military command scrambled to respond. Redfield 9 was home to over 20,000 people, scientists, miners, families. It was far from any major defense base. No warships guarded it, no shields, just hope and time. They had neither. Within minutes, Jax Voss received the report. He stood in the command room of the Earth Embassy on Zorath Prime, staring at a screen showing Redfield 9's last known position. The data was clear. Sarnath warships had attacked. They came without warning. They didn't send a message. They didn't demand surrender. They opened fire. Entire settlements were gone in seconds. Jax clenched his fists. He had warned the Council. He had begged them to take the threat seriously. Now Redfield 9 was dust and ashes. He called an emergency session of the Galactic Council. The hall filled quickly. But this time, Jax wasn't polite. He stood in the center, voice firm and filled with grief. Redfield 9 is gone. 20,000 civilians are dead. This is an act of war. Some delegates looked shocked. Others looked away. Jax turned toward Supreme Commander Virex, who sat calmly, claws resting on the table. Did you order the attack? Jax demanded. Virex smiled faintly. The Dominion expands. Weakness must be erased. It is nothing personal. The Council President, an old being with crystal skin, raised a hand. This is a conflict between two powers. Pia, the Council will not interfere unless the war threatens all members. Jax couldn't believe it. They murdered civilians. If that isn't a threat to peace, what is? Earth must defend itself, the council president replied. We do not choose sides. Jax's voice dropped low. Then Earth stands alone. He left the hall. That same day Jax returned to Earth on a military cruiser, landing at Command Base Nova, in the Nevada wastelands. The sky was gray with ash from old wars, but Earth had rebuilt stronger before, and it would do it again. Jax met with the top military leaders, scientists, and AI strategists. He looked around the table and spoke clearly. We have no allies, no help, but we have what we need: willpower and brains. The Zarnath believe they can crush us. Let's prove them wrong. He reactivated his old rank, Commander Voss. He built a small task force. Fast ships, smart AIs, experienced pilots. These weren't fancy fleets with giant guns. These were clever, quiet, deadly squads who knew how to outthink the enemy. 3 days later, they launched their first mission. A Zarnath scout fleet, 10 ships, was heading toward Mars Station. Jax led a trap. He sent 3 decoy ships in front, making it look like humans were fleeing. The Zarnath gave chase. What they didn't know was that behind them, cloaked in silence, 5 Earth fighters waited. When the Zarnath moved into the ambush zone, EMP bombs exploded, shutting down their sensors. In under 7 minutes, all 10 Zarnath ships were destroyed. Earth had its first victory. It wasn't big. It wouldn't make the council act, but it sent a message. Earth wouldn't go quietly. News of Earth's surprise victory spread quickly across the galaxy. For the first time, alien species stopped laughing. They started watching. The Zarnath Dominion, angry over the ambush loss near Mars Station, sent more patrol ships. They expected an easy win. Instead, they found themselves outsmarted. Again and again. Jax Voss wasn't fighting with bigger guns. He was fighting with smarter plans. He used asteroid fields as cover. He lured enemy ships into gravity wells. He turned abandoned satellites into mines. Every trap was designed to waste no lives but cost the enemy everything. In just 2 weeks, Earth's small task force had destroyed or captured 27 Zarnath ships. Still, the council stayed silent. Jax knew that strategy alone wouldn't be enough. The galaxy needed to see who the Zarnath truly were, not just conquerors, but monsters. He found his proof in a broken ship. After one battle, Earth forces boarded a damaged Zarnath warcruiser. The ship's systems were failing. Fires burned through corridors. Inside, they found survivors from Redfield 9, humans held in cages, weak and starved. A video log recovered from the ship showed the truth. Zarnath commanders had been targeting civilians on purpose, testing weapons on live humans, calling it cleansing operations. Jax brought this footage to the Galactic Council. This time, there was no laughter. In the Great Hall, the screen showed a human child crying in a cage. It showed Zarnath soldiers laughing as they bombed shelters. Jax didn't raise his voice. He just looked at the council. You called us weak. You said we were too young to matter. Tell me, what strength is there in murder? What honor in silence? Some delegates lowered their heads. Others looked at Verexthal. The Zarnath commander stood, unmoved. Earth lies. You believe what they show you. This is war. Things happen. But the damage was done. Not all council members believed Verex, and a few began reaching out to Jax in secret. A captain from the Creel Alliance, a species of reptilian engineers, offered stealth tech. A diplomat from the Thalarian Nebula, a peaceful light-based race, shared intelligence. Even a pirate queen from the Outer Rim offered supplies in exchange for protection. For the first time, Earth wasn't completely alone. Back on Earth, Jax's team continued to grow. Veterans rejoined. AI systems were upgraded. Factories ran day and night. Children hid in bunkers. Scientists stopped research and built weapons instead. Everyone knew the truth now. The war had just begun, but something had changed. The galaxy no longer saw humans as weak. They saw them as survivors. fighters, planners. The Zarnith still had the larger fleet, but now they were losing control, and Commander Jax Voss was just getting started. The war had entered a new phase. The Zarnith Dominion still had more ships, more weapons, and more soldiers, but they no longer had the element of fear that belonged to Earth now. Commander Jax Voss studied enemy movement from a command room deep beneath the surface of Luna Base, Earth's moon headquarters. Around him, officers and AIs worked in silence. Everyone focused. Everyone knew how high the stakes were. Jax pointed at a hologram showing a key Zarnith base, Outpost Virix 7, hidden in the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Saturn. This base controls supply lines, Jax said. Fuel, weapons, food. If we cut it off, they lose half their reach in this sector. The mission was dangerous. Virix 7 was protected by mines, drones, and a full battle group. But Jax had a plan. He didn't want to fight their strength. He wanted to use their overconfidence against them. Using stolen Zarnith codes from a captured ship, Earth's forces faked a distress call, a damaged Zarnith freighter asking for help near a known asteroid cluster. It was bait. When a Zarnith patrol moved to check the signal, they didn't notice Earth's stealth ships slipping past them. The strike team moved fast. Inside Virix 7, Earth commandos used hacking drones to shut down defenses. Explosives were placed in the fuel cores, and when the base's alarm finally sounded, it was too late. In minutes, the entire outpost exploded into fire and metal, the shockwaves spreading through the belt. No humans lost. Dozens of Zarnith fighters gone. One of their key strongholds erased. It was Earth's biggest victory so far. The wind changed everything. All over the galaxy, alien species who once laughed at Earth were now reconsidering their alliances. Some council members began speaking up. The news networks watched on 1,000 worlds, shared footage of human bravery, Zarnith cruelty, and Earth's unexpected rise. Jax Voss received encrypted messages every hour. Some offered help, some offered warnings, and some, especially from neutral species, asked the same thing. How are you doing this? Jax always gave the same answer. We don't fight like giants. We fight like humans. We use what we have. And we never give up. Meanwhile, Virix Thal grew more impatient. He sent larger forces to Earth's borders. He ordered new attacks on other colonies. He wanted to remind the galaxy who ruled through fear. But every time he struck, Earth was there ready, watching, learning. Each battle taught Jax's team something new. Each ambush brought them closer to understanding Zarnith tactics. And every soldier they lost made the survivors more determined. Humanity was still outnumbered, still outgunned. But they had momentum. They had strategy. And more importantly, they had earned respect, even from their enemies. The stars were quiet, but everyone knew what was coming. After losing Outpost Virix 7, Supreme Commander Virix Thal was furious. The Zarnith Dominion had suffered too many losses. They had been humiliated by a species the Council once called primitive. Virix sent a message to the galaxy. It was broadcast in every major system. The time for games is over. Earth will burn. Their cities, their leaders, their children, all will be erased. Let this be a lesson to any who stand with them. He wasn't bluffing. Scouts reported a massive Zarnith armada gathering near the edge of Earth's solar system. Over 100 warships, carriers, destroyers, battlecruisers. Enough firepower to wipe out Earth in a single day. Council members panicked. Some began evacuating colonies. Others begged Virix to reconsider. But the Council still refused to fight. They were afraid. Back on Luna Base, Jax Voss gathered his top team in the war room. The hologram showed the enemy fleet approaching fast. Jax spoke clearly, without emotion. This is it. If we lose this battle, Earth is gone. The room was silent. He looked around. Faces were pale, eyes tired, but no one was backing down. We can't match their numbers, he said, but we can control the battlefield. He pointed at a gas giant just beyond Pluto's orbit. Noxus 6, A dark, unstable planet, with violent storms and strong gravity wells. We'll draw the armada there. We'll fake a full retreat, make it look like Earth is fleeing in fear. They'll chase us, and when they do, we use this. He pressed a button. The screen changed to show a prototype weapon, a quantum fusion bomb, powered by compressed gravity waves. Still experimental, still risky. But if it works, he continued, we collapse the fleet's position and trigger a chain reaction in the planet's core. The explosion will destroy everything in the blast zone. Everything? Asked Lieutenant Rhea. Jax nodded. Including us, if we're not careful. The plan was dangerous, but it was their only chance. 3 days later, the trap was set. Earth's ships gathered near Noxus 6, sending out fake signals of panic and retreat. Zarnath scouts picked it up and reported to Virax. Just as Jax predicted, the Dominion took the bait. The Armada charged into the Noxus system at full speed, eager to crush Earth in one final blow. But Earth's fleet didn't run. They danced, fast, small ships weaved between asteroids. Decoys exploded in fake fire. Jax's elite pilots drew the enemy deeper into the gravity traps of the planet. At the exact moment the Zarnath fleet entered the kill zone, the quantum bomb was released, hidden inside a hollowed asteroid. The countdown began. Virax realized too late what was happening. Pull back, he shouted. It's a trap. But the pull of Noxus 6 had them now. The fusion core exploded in a blinding light, collapsing gravity around it. The planet's storms surged. Space twisted, and the Zarnath fleet was pulled into a crushing vortex. The explosion was seen from the edges of the solar system. When it ended, over 80% of the Zarnath fleet was gone. Jax watched from a safe distance, his ship shaking from the shock wave. He didn't cheer. He just let out a slow breath and said, it worked. Earth had survived. The Dominion had been broken, and the galaxy had just witnessed the impossible. Smoke still rose from the wreckage in space. Where once there had been a mighty Zarnath armada, now there was only silence. Fragments of metal drifting near the dark storms of Noxus 6. Earth's plan had worked. The quantum fusion bomb had triggered a collapse in the planet's gravity core, sucking the enemy fleet into its depths. The explosion had shaken the entire outer system. Only a handful of Zarnath ships escaped. But one of them carried Supreme Commander Virax Thal. He was wounded. His left arm was gone. His armor cracked. His pride shattered. But his anger still burned. On board his escape ship, he sent a final command to his remaining forces. Prepare for one last strike. Earth must fall, even if we fall with it. Meanwhile, back on Luna Base, Commander Jax Voss stood before a global communication screen. People from Earth and its colonies watched. Council members listened. Soldiers waited. Jax didn't smile. His voice was calm but firm. We stood alone. We were mocked, threatened, and ignored. But we survived. And now the enemy runs. Cheers erupted on Earth. Across colonies, people cried with relief. But Jax wasn't done. He turned to his officers. This war is not over. Virax still lives. He will come again, and we must be ready. They were. Within hours, Earth forces tracked Virax's final ship heading toward Zarath Prime, the capital of the Galactic Council. It was a desperate move. He wants to punish the Council, said Lieutenant Rhea. He blames them for not helping him crush us. Jax nodded. He wants to show power, even in defeat. The Council begged for protection. Now the very humans they had once mocked were their only hope. Jax didn't hesitate. He led a rapid assault team, combining Earth's finest pilots and a few alien allies who had secretly supported Earth since the early days of the war. Their target: stop Virax before he reached the Council chamber. Near Zarath Prime, the final battle began. Virax's ship was fast and deadly, but Jax had learned every move the Zarnath made. He knew their weak spots. The battle took place in the upper atmosphere of the Council world, among cloud towers and floating platforms. Jax's fighter led the charge. He dodged plasma fire, weaving through towers, guiding his team into position. At the right moment he gave the signal. Rhea and her squad launched EMP torpedoes, disabling Virex's shields. Jax's ship closed in, targeting the engine core. He fired. The explosion tore through the ship, breaking it in half. Virex's escape pod ejected, but Earth commandos were waiting. They pulled him from the wreckage. For the first time, Virex Thal knelt before his enemy. The war was over. Back on Zareth Prime, Jax stood before the full council once more. This time, no one laughed. He looked around the great chamber and said, "You called us weak. You ignored our warnings. But we stood when no one else would. Now we are not just a member of the council. We are its shield." The council stood in silence. Then slowly, one by one, they began to applaud. Earth had earned its place, not by power, but by courage. Peace returned to the stars. But the galaxy would never be the same. The war was over. The Zarnith Dominion was defeated. Their ships were gone. Their leader, Virex Thal, was imprisoned on a council war planet. Without him, the Dominion collapsed. Worlds they had conquered broke free. Species that lived in fear began to rebuild. Earth, once seen as the weakest member of the Galactic Council, was now its greatest symbol of strength. Commander Jax Voss returned to Earth aboard the flagship Hopebringer. The ship entered orbit to the sound of celebration. Fireworks filled the sky. Every city, every colony, every outpost cheered his name. But Jax didn't smile for the cameras. He didn't stand on parades or speak at victory parties. He walked quietly through the ruins of Luna Base, where so many had fought and fallen. He visited the family of a young pilot who died in the battle over Noxus 6. He placed a medal in the hands of her mother and said only one thing: she saved the world. A week later, the Galactic Council held a special meeting. This time, Earth sat in the center. The council hall was quiet, as Jax stood to speak one last time. His voice was steady. "We came here not long ago, hopeful and proud. You laughed. You mocked us. But we didn't run. We didn't beg. We stood alone. And now we stand together. Let this be a warning to those who rule by fear, and a promise to those who seek peace. Humanity adapts. Humanity endures. Humanity fights back." No one clapped. They just stood, every delegate, every species, silent and still, showing respect the human way. After the meeting, Jax returned to Earth. He stepped down from his role. No politics, no command. He walked through a park near his home, feeling the sun on his face. A child ran past him, wearing a toy flight helmet, shouting, "I'm Jax Voss, pew pew." Jax smiled for the first time in weeks. The galaxy was watching now, and not just watching, listening. Humanity had earned its voice among the stars, not by power, but by courage, sacrifice, and the will to never give up. Ships still flew. New dangers would come. Peace was fragile, but Earth had proven something unshakable: never underestimate a human.